Battle Through the Heavens, Grand World. Chapter 222 Xiao Yan fought Yin Kang. Dong. After being punched in the chest by Xiao Yan, Zhao Shuo suddenly felt the blood in his body churn. His chest tightened and he started coughing violently. Xiao Yan rubbed the wrist of the hand that was holding the blue flame ruler. There was a dull pain there. Zhao Shuo's staff technique was fierce and majestic. Just now, he was careless and was hit by a little bit of air force. A sharp pain immediately came from his wrist. Ha! He flipped over and jumped up from the ground. The pain from his chest made Zhao Shuo suck in a cold breath. He took a deep breath and his legs trembled. He almost fell to the ground. Luckily, he had the silver tiger stick in his hand to support him, so he did not make a fool of himself. Both of his eyes were red as he stared at Xiao Yan. Zhao Shuo's entire body was trembling. Compared to the pain in his body, the blow in his heart was even more bone-piercing. He was also a genius amongst the young generation in Myriad Spirit City. Although he wasn't the best, no one in his generation could defeat him so easily. And now, after a few punches from Xiao Yan, it almost shattered his confidence. Just as Zhao Shuo's expression changed, he suddenly heard the Zhang family's patriarch speak. Then, under Zhao Shuo's ugly expression, Jiangzi walked down the stage with great difficulty. Xiao Yan also looked at Yin Kang in surprise. This guy's strength was actually so terrifying. He had forced his opponent to step down. When he thought of this, Xiao Yan suddenly smiled and looked at Zhao Shuo, who was standing not far away from him. Since he was his opponent, he couldn't be at a disadvantage. Yin Kang's opponent had taken the initiative to step down from the stage. If his opponent didn't admit defeat, it seemed like he had lost this match. Sensing Xiao Yan staring at him with a playful look, Zhao Shuo's heart suddenly trembled. Then, he looked at Xiao Yan with a flushed face, and his eyes seemed like they were about to shoot out flames. Swoosh! The silver tiger stick in his hand sliced through the air. Zhao Shuo stood up with a gloomy face. His eyes were staring at Xiao Yan. He wished he could break Xiao Yan's waist. That kind of look made Zhao Shuo's face burn. He had never seen such an insult before. Seeing Zhao Shuo staring at him with an unfriendly expression, Xiao Yan chuckled. However, he didn't dare to be careless. This guy's strength was quite terrifying. If he wasn't careful, he might be injured. The monarch flame in his body slowly condensed as the surging origin monarch ki flowed. It gathered into a palm-sized fire lotus in his hand. As the fire lotus rotated, it spread out like water and covered both of his hands. Bang! Zhao Shuo was furious from embarrassment. The ki in his body were not stingy at all. They surged out wildly, causing a bright light to shine from his entire body. Every pore on his body was emitting a bright light. He was like a god, holding a silver tiger rod in his hand as he rushed towards Xiao Yan. The wind howled, as if it was going to shatter the heaven and earth. Zhao family's secret skill, golden body. This kid has actually succeeded in cultivating it. Zhao Qingshan was shocked when he saw Zhao Shuo's sudden attack. He couldn't help but laugh out loud. The golden body was one of the most powerful techniques in the Zhao family's secret skill. It was almost comparable to the monarch arts, and it had the power to shatter mountains and shatter rocks. With this attack, Xiao Yan would be severely injured even if he didn't die. While Zhao Shuo's body was glowing brightly, Yin Kang also came back to his senses. He looked at the former in shock. This domineering aura actually made his heart tremble. Xiao Yan, who was the first to bear the brunt of the attack, had a stern expression on his face. With a thought, he shouted out softly. The monarch flame's secret skill was unleashed. The crimson gold flame that covered his body trembled slightly and exploded, completely wrapping around Xiao Yan like a fireman. The blue flame ruler in his hand was fluttering in the wind. Xiao Yan took a deep breath. The moment Zhao Shuo's silver tiger stick struck, Xiao Yan suddenly slashed horizontally. The wide ruler firmly blocked the whistling silver tiger stick. The impact caused Xiao Yan's arm to tremble. Immediately after, the monarch flame moved, and the hidden force dissipated. When Zhao Shuo saw that the silver tiger stick was blocked by Xiao Yan's blue flame ruler, his facial expression didn't change. His entire body seemed to be glowing, and he was full of energy. He changed his hand to holding the stick with one hand and clenched his fist with the other. It was like a meteor falling from the sky, and in an instant, it shone with a bright light, causing the surrounding space to buzz. Xiao Yan's brows furrowed coldly. The origin monarch ki in his body surged out, and he also gripped the ruler with one hand. Flames were rolling on his fist, and the golden red light was no weaker than Zhao Shuo's. It was as if the stars in the sky had lit up the ages, and it rushed towards Zhao Shuo's fist. Buzz. When the two collided, a huge energy wave swept out like a wave, instantly turning everything in the surroundings into dust. Some of the participants couldn't dodge in time and were hit by the energy wave. They were immediately sent flying away as if they had suffered a heavy blow. Their expressions were ugly as they fell to the ground. Yin Kang's expression was grave. The gray robe on his body had been pierced by the great Yin spirit arts earlier. It was just like a broken cloth that hung on his body. He waved his right hand and wiped away the dust that was approaching him. Yin Kang's eyes stared intently at the dust. His expression was grave. With his strength, he was naturally able to tell that Xiao Yan and Zhao Shuo were currently in a stalemate. This fellow is definitely not simple. On the viewing platform, Yin Jushuan's expression was similarly dark and cold. He looked at Xiao Yan and Zhao family's golden Dharma body in the dust. He had heard about it before, and it was no less powerful than the great Yin spirit arts of the profound Yin sect. Although Zhao Shuo was only a peak of monarch spirit warrior, he had used all of his strength to unleash the golden body. The golden body was actually blocked by the young man Jade Fairy mentioned, and the latter. He was only a 5th Dao monarch spirit warrior. The strength of a 5th Dao monarch spirit was not as high as the other contestants on the stage. But this fellow actually won so easily. Kacha. Zhao Qingshan broke the iron bars beside him. At this moment, his face had turned completely green. In the dust, Xiao Yan was standing as steady as Mount Tai, facing Zhao Shuo's most powerful secret arts. This damn kid, we can't let him live. Zhao Qingshan's face turned gloomy. He began to regret not killing this young man in Forest Domain a few years ago. Now, the latter had actually reached such a stage. If it were a few more years, he would be frightened. Hong. The dust dispersed, and a figure flew out. The handsome man's face was extremely pale. Blood was flowing out of his fist and he was coughing up blood. He couldn't even hold the silver tiger stick in his hand tightly and it fell onto the stage, creating an inch-deep crater. Zhao Qingshan's eyes were on the verge of splitting apart. His body flashed and he arrived below the stage. He helped the unconscious Zhao Shuo up and hurriedly stuffed the medicine pill into the latter's mouth. When he saw that Zhao Shuo's entire body was covered in wounds and his palm and back almost exploded, Zhao Qingshan stared at Xiao Yan like a tiger and wolf. He wished that he could devour Xiao Yan. His injuries were caused by himself. He didn't fully master the secret arts yet, but he used it recklessly. As a result, before the power of the secret arts reached its peak, it injured his own body first. Xiao Yan's face was also slightly pale. The flames on his hands dispersed, and the blood scar that had condensed into a cocoon quietly fell down. He glanced at the unconscious Zhao Shuo and coldly said. Zhao Qingshan gritted his teeth. There was no way he could vent the anger in his heart. He could only glare at Xiao Yan, carry Zhao Shuo on his back, and leave. Yin Kang stood straight, staring at Xiao Yan with a gloomy gaze. A moment later, a trace of a smile emerged on his face. This was the interesting part. After that, his cold eyes swept across the stage, except for himself and Xiao Yan. Yin Kang frowned and said coldly, I won't hold back in the upcoming battle. Whether I live or die, I will leave it to the heavens. The other four's facial expression changed when they heard this. They looked at each other, then smiled bitterly. They looked at Yin Kang and Xiao Yan with a complicated expression. They had no choice but to take the initiative to step forward. Their strength was weaker than Jiangzi and Zhao Shuo. Staying on the stage was just a joke. Who said that this is a great battle between the geniuses of star-severing mountain range? It's a battle between two monstrous geniuses. Seeing that only Xiao Yan and Yin Kang were left on the battlefield, everyone had a strange expression on their faces. All of them heaved a sigh of relief. Although these people were all geniuses, the light from Yin Kang and the young man in black was too dazzling, completely covering their brilliance. After sighing with emotion, everyone couldn't wait to look at Yin Kang and Xiao Yan. The following battle would surely be incomparably intense. Yin Kang took off his tattered clothes and slowly clenched his fists. He looked at Xiao Yan, who was standing opposite of him, and sneered. Now that all those small fries have gone down, there are only the two of us left. What do you think? Xiao Yan's 10 fingers also slowly curled into fists. He exhaled a breath of air and his eyes suddenly became heated. Then let's have a good fight. Both of their bodies moved after their words sounded. After which, they rushed over like two flowing lights. Hi guys, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.